Hello everyone, this is Lloyd's Journey from LEGO Ninjago. It's a very small set, so let's see if I can manage to review it in less than like a half an hour. A fair amount of the value in this set is wrapped up in the figures, so here the minifigures are with Journeying Lloyd on the left and a Blizzard Warrior on the right. I think both of these figures look good. I've spoken before quite a bit about how much I like the dual molding in the Blizzard Warrior and just Blizzard faction, the ice faction in general, for this entire season. There's no exception here. And I think this version of Lloyd looks rather mature, you know? I like that combination of the strong green going through the outfit, but then also having the cover over the mouth and with the hair exposed and the eyebrows in the more serious form. All of that just goes together really well. It reminds me a little bit of Ronin here, just a bit. He's carrying the torch, tall form of torch, which you have to build up. It's always nice to build minifig-sized accessories. And yeah, there's what they look like around the back. So you get one katana in just the regular silver for Lloyd and one in the medium azure for the Blizzard Warrior. The Blizzard Warrior gets an alternate face, which is different, has both eyes exposed, and is intended to be used with other characters, but it ultimately just gives you more variety, so you could just have multiple Blizzard Warriors and just have some different faces for them. Lloyd does still get an alternate face as well. His right arm, if it doesn't show up well here on video or on the device that you're looking at, his right arm is dark brown. That's the color that's used there, which is just going with some of the elements that are depicted on his torso as well. And there are their primary faces with nothing in the way. For many buyers of this set, though, the majority of the value is in this new and exclusive animal. Now, when this was first introduced by pictures, when we didn't have any descriptions, I thought that LEGO was going to refer to it as a fox, a multi-tailed fox, in this case with three, based on the Japanese mythology of the kitsune, which is a multi-tailed fox, which is also a shapeshifter. Well, LEGO officially refers to this as a wolf, so it's an okami, but it does still take quite a lot of inspiration from the kitsune mythology, with it being a multi-tailed canid type of animal with shape-shifting possibilities, and it also specifically turns into a woman. And we've already I've already shown the woman that it turns into. It's Akita over here, so you can see that she retains some of the hide of the animal when she switches back and forth, but a lot of the graphic design of this figure in particular, this character, this mold, is based off a game actually called Okami, which is the title has a pun within itself, but it's very similar in many ways. So this draws from a number of things, and ultimately, officially in Ninjago lore, it is a wolf, and I'm good with that, and I think that it looks good. I think that it looks interesting. I think that even a lot of people who are not specifically interested in Ninjago will be able to appreciate this and may even want to collect it and, add their own meaning to it. Now, this has minimal articulation. All that you can do to make this move is move the head up and down. So the head goes up that far and it goes down that far. I like how far it goes down. I like the angling. It just looks very, very dynamic. Looks very proper. Like it's really seeking, Leave the head down just a little bit. And where they put the eyes, where they put the suggestion of the pupils is really good. I think that the design of the head here in the mold and in the graphics, the print, is absolutely expert because it looks right from all of these angles. I wish that it could do more, but what design is there, what work was done very, very well, I think. And the production value is very good. The tail bits in red are just painted on or printed on. They look pretty good. There's just a little bit of overspray at some edges where it wasn't masked off perfectly, but I'm okay with that. They could have gone with a dual molded setup, would have raised the price significantly, which probably would not have been worth it for this single small set. You can put a figure on top so you can ride on top of it, and that's pretty much it. Overall, I think this is well done. Most of the parts in this set are in this small outpost build. It's just a short tower with a crossbow emplacement, sort of turret style, at the corner here, and you can angle that up and down. It actually has a stud shooter or a tile shooter built into it, but it can be angled up and down, and it can also be rotated around. It's a little bit stiff in the rotation, but it will work. These elements here on the sides look nice. It's a nice choice of parts to give the texture there. Those shield pieces, relatively recent to Lego's inventory. And overall, this just fits with the architecture of the castle of the Forsaken Emperor. So it would fit right into a scene with the two major structures from that set. And you also, on the side, get a block of ice with a sword in it that you can pull out. And that's just sitting there. But it works perfectly well. It's just using the Technic axle hole through the top of that brick and also the plate there. It holds it absolutely just perfectly well for Lloyd to pick up. And looking at this around the back, there's really not much else to see. A couple clips here so you can store some figure accessories there. I do wish that the figure was able to get up closer to the weapon. There's just too much distance right there. You can kind of get him up on top of this ledge, but I want him to be behind. I want him to look like he's getting a little bit of defense from this. Imagine this being taller than it really is. But yeah, he's just not able to reach right over there. But overall, it's a pretty cool looking thing, and you can pull off those shuriken also if you want to use those as weapons instead of as just decorations, And finally, here are the spares or the leftover pieces from the set, including a couple of extra studs for the stud shooter, and then the rest are just true proper spares. This little set goes for $15 in the US, which gives it a terrible price to part ratio, and also not the best price to volume of stuff ratio. But I'd say if that had been just a regular figure or maybe even a small build instead, then it easily would have been a $10 set. However, Lego is always going to charge quite a bit more for the more expensive to produce and certainly more valuable than usual part or couple of parts for medium to large animals, and that being a completely new set of molds, with one of them possibly being exclusive forever. I mean, they might come up with another use for that. I hope they're able to get another use for it for something else, but as it stands right now, it's just for this. Surely they'll be able to reuse the wolf in the future, that mold with different color schemes. But that's the reason why it's a $15 set and not a $10 set. And I think that's okay. I'm all right with that. It sure would be great to get this for less. And if you don't care about the animal, then the set's probably not worth it for you at its suggested retail price. But overall, I think that the value is here. I do like the regular figures, and the build is nothing special, but it is pretty nice. And it's, like I say, it's definitely nicer than it needs to be to provide just a support for a single figure to stand on there. I even like the little ice block over here. That's just nicely done. So simple, but very effective for what it's trying to portray there. So overall, I'm happy with this one. I also did a pure build in real time for it, and I wrapped its speed build up into a compilation speed build covering all of the season 11 sets that I have built separately. So I'll link you to the builds right now and talk to you again very soon.